This is the 24th of November, Tuesday. It's in the low to mid 60s out, so we have a nice warm sunny afternoon or day. And I'm feeding my colonies. I started with a 2-to-1 sugar syrup ratio, and this colony seems to be doing quite well. And you can see them eating up their syrup. They're very hungry. They came right up and started working on it. And they look healthy. I haven't seen a whole lot of hive beetles, and I'm not counting for varroa mites, but probably there are lots of them as usual, and that'll become a problem. It's always really kind of a miracle if they make it through the winter. But this colony seems to be doing quite well. They were out and flying around. They were definitely annoyed that I was digging around in their colony, which is a great sign. Their neighbors, the other colony next door, was not doing well, and I didn't see a lot of activity. And also the sugar syrup from a week ago was not completely consumed. So that's a bad sign, and I expect that they will perish within the next few weeks, probably. If I can get this one colony through the winter, that'll be a really good result. So there they are. It's really a lot of fun to watch them busily drinking their syrup. I always pour some right into the hive to kind of get their attention, and it lands on them, and then you can see how their wings kind of are glistening with the sugar crystals, and hopefully that doesn't bother them too much. That causes them to come climbing up here, and what you see them drinking is pools of sugar syrup that have landed on the outside of the feeding tray. And here's the tray itself, which they haven't climbed into yet mostly. But this works out okay. They come up through the middle and start eating the stuff that's on the edges, and then of course they're going to go into this tray and sit on these floaters and drink the syrup there, which will last them probably. This is Tuesday. It'll probably last them until Friday or Saturday, and then I'll have to come out and do it again. It's 10 pounds of sugar per colony. So it's 5 pounds in each one of these two trays, and it's a 2-to-1 sugar mixture, which means 2 parts sugar and 1 part water. In the winter, we do that because we want to reduce the water content because they don't have as much heat and energy to take out the water themselves. It takes a lot of energy, and in the winter, you want to give them a head start by having a higher proportion of sugar per water. And in the dead of the winter, we actually feed them fondant, which is sort of like cake icing. So it's essentially almost a solid sugar, not solid, but it's kind of a gooey, solid thing. I've never had much success with that. I don't know, they don't seem to be able to eat it or be interested, so that's a problem. But right now we're doing 2-to-1 sugar syrup probably until through December, especially if the weather remains reasonably warm. Once it gets below about 40, we start with the fondant. So, pretty good news with this colony, and I'm quite happy that they're doing so well. And I'm kind of bummed out that the other one isn't doing well, and maybe they can make a recovery, but it's not very likely, which is too bad. But that's kind of beekeeping. You frequently lose at least half of your hives, and often all of them. So if I can get these guys through the winter, that will be really, I'll be quite happy with that, actually. It's expensive and heartbreaking to lose them. So there you have it. Quick tour of what's happening in my bee yard. And there's the neighboring colony. Ironically, has a lot more honey stores in it, but they're not doing as well. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in.